morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Friday edition of Chopping It Up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Hey, listen, I'm going to be brief. I have a big day ahead of me. But here's what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about the trade deadline, definitely. Who was the winners, who was the losers. And same Knicks, same results. I mean, doesn't matter what they do. They stand pat. They still the same Knicks. Nothing has changed. Listen, I thought at the trade deadline, clearly I thought the big winner was Toronto. Picking up Ibaka and then trading for P.J. Tucker definitely brings some defense at the forward position, something that they were lacking. And let me put it this way. Not only bringing defense, but also bringing some offense. Serge Ibaka is definitely a better offensive player than Bismack Biyombo. And add P.J. Tucker. He's a guy who can hit the three, but he can also play some perimeter defense. He's a tough person out there. Definitely probably the biggest winners of the trade deadline. Houston, I thought they was a winner. I'm a fan of Corey Brewer. I think Corey Brewer is a guy that every team needs to have. But the way Houston plays, Lou Williams is perfect for that team. Just absolutely perfect for that team. I thought Houston was a big winner. Their first game, they blow out New Orleans by over 20 points or so. And he leads all scorers coming off the bench with about 24 minutes. He had 27 points. Lou Williams is a perfect fit in that system. He will continue his march on the sixth man of the year. I know the Laker fans don't really want to hear that trade went down with Lou Williams going to Houston, but for Lou Williams, it couldn't have been a better destination. He will thrive in a D'Antoni system, in a system where you get taken out of the game for not shooting. Well, let's put it this way: he will never be taken out of the game for that. Because this guy can shoot, he likes to shoot, and he gets it done. So Houston was a big winner. And obviously you got to give New Orleans some credit. Anytime you have an opportunity to grab Cousins, you take that chance. Now, the losers, obviously, I thought that the losers was Boston for not making the move at all. I think they were the biggest loser for not making the move at all. I thought that Sacramento's clearly a loser. I mean, if you're going to trade Cousins, you got to get back a better package than that. And I think the Knicks are losers. You know, all this talk, all this distraction, trading Carmelo, then at the last minute trading Derrick Rose, and you do nothing. And who knows if those headlines or the distraction or the drama between Carmelo and Phil. You look back on it, was it a distraction to the team, what they were trying to do? I mean, is it possible? But if it was it worth it? You do nothing at the deadline, but you cause all this fricas? You're the biggest loser, Phil. Individually, Phil is the biggest loser at the trade deadline. I'm going to put the Lakers as a winner. I thought trading Lou Williams was a move they had to make, but having Magic Johnson now running an operation, that's always a plus. So, kudos to the Lakers. Now, getting to the games. As I said with the Knicks, they come back with the same squad before the trade deadline that they had, and nothing has changed. They go on to Cleveland. And Cleveland wipes him off the court again. But this time in the presence of Charles Oakley sitting next to their owner, Dan Gilbert. I have to give LeBron credit on this one. I understand that he orchestrated Charles Oakley being there last night. And I guess this is just a jab at the Knicks, or maybe a jab at Phil. Remember early in the season he called LeBron's crew a posse, his team of businessmen a posse. So maybe this was just a jab getting back at him. And Charles Oakley, the Cleveland resident that he is, he graciously accepted the invitation. He came there, and it probably could have been a little bit awkward, but at the end of the day, he's a Knicks fan. He got a chance to see his team, and I guess he made a statement as well. But to the game itself, I mean, it was close in the first 6 minutes of the game. There was a point in time where I thought the Knicks would maybe make this a closer game, but then in the beginning of the fourth quarter, they just went on a 3-point barrage, and before you know, what was an 8-point lead at the end of the third ballooned to an 18-point lead at the blink of an eye, and in the first 3.5 minutes of the fourth quarter, the Knicks was already in the penalty. So this one didn't look good. Porzingis, he left out in a boot. I mean, if there's a trade out there for Porzingis, I think New York needs to consider it. I really do. I think they need to consider it. If there's a trade out there for New York, and that involves Porzingis, I think they need to consider it. I don't know if this guy is someone we can rely on going further. I don't know if this is the guy that we need to build our franchise around. He seems to be injured often. He still doesn't play defense. I'm not too sure about this guy. I'm not saying we trade him, but I am saying if there's a package out there that is involving Porzingis, the Knicks should consider it. They really do. I don't know about this guy. I really don't. Last night's loss for the Knicks puts them 12 games under 500. I believe this is clearing the way for them to absolutely get a high draft pick. Something that New York hasn't had in some time is had a consecutive. Well, they didn't pick last year. I'm sorry. I think they owed up by Yanni trade. So, but they'll be able to get their draft pick this year. I don't know. I'm looking at Dwayne Bacon out of Florida State. I think he'll be there around that 9th, 10th spot where I think the Knicks will eventually be. If they get into the top 5, then definitely they'll probably go after a point guard. I don't see Derrick Rose re-signing here. I just don't. I don't see him re-signing. But nevertheless, LeBron James, he had a triple-double. I mean, they pick up Derrick Williams, guy who I've said the Knicks should have never let go. He's on his second 10-day contract. He'll probably be re-signed to the end of the year. But Knicks should have never, ever let him go. The guy is just a freakish athlete. And on a team like that, he's just gonna do well. Plain and simple. In the 3 games or 4 games he's played, he's averaging like 12, 13 points off the bench. In limited minutes. You had him, Corver to the mix. And they're going to monitor the waiver wire. Reports are they're interested in Darren Williams if he clears waivers. There's reports that if Bogut is released from the trade from Philadelphia, they have interest in him. So they're going to bolster that. As quiet as kept. Cleveland's bench is probably stronger than Golden State's bench right now. So that's something to look at. But Cleveland clearly is in the driver's seat, looking like they're primed for a nice little run for the remainder of the season and get themselves into playoffs and make another trip to the finals. So it should be interesting. Going out west, Houston, I touched on it. They traded for Lou Williams, a leading 6-man candidate, averaging like 20 points a game off the bench. And he paid dividends early, yesterday, as Houston went up against the new-look New Orleans Pelicans that featured Cousins and Anthony Davis, and they did not disappoint as they combined for 53 points and like 25 rebounds. They did not disappoint. Problem is, they don't have nobody else. Guys, if I was 20 years younger, I would do a walk-on right now for the New Orleans Pelicans. Anybody with a jump shot from 18 feet or better can make that roster and get significant playing time. They have no wings. None. I mean, you're starting a backcourt of Drew Holiday and Etuan Moore with Solomon Hill at the 3. Matt Barnes has just been released, and they need to go sign him. But they need some shooters over there. They really do. And let me tell you something. Whoever can shoot will be wide open because once that ball gets dumped down to those bigs, the defense is collapsing. The defenses are collapsing. So you're going to have a wide open look, a deep two, a three, whatever it might be. I'm putting my hands up to go there. But meanwhile, Houston, they beat them by 20. And as I mentioned earlier, Lou Williams comes off the bench, 27 points to lead all scorers for Houston. There's not a better team right now suited for Lou Williams. Not a better team. Him and Patrick Beverly could come off the bench and just cause havoc. Or him and Eric Gordon. They cause havoc. You know, one thing about Lou Williams, he's a shooter. Don't get me wrong. But he also can play point guard, too. He can handle the ball. He can distribute it. Not all the time, but he can distribute it. Excellent pickup for Houston. This is the type of move. Doesn't seem like much. It didn't cost you much. But this is the type of move that'll have you playing deep into May. Possibly into June. So excellent move by them. Once again, moving right along. Golden State. They went into the half trailing by 12 against the Clippers, the short-handed Clippers, because remember, Chris Paul is still not there. And they come out in the third quarter and put up 50 points. How do you beat a team that at any point of a game could just take a quarter and put up 50 points? That's disheartening. Coming out of the locker room, you up by 12 on the road against Golden State. You got to be feeling good. Chris Paul is not there. But you have to feel good where you are coming out of the locker room. Blake Griffin is not having the best of game. And then the Golden State Warriors put a 50 spot up in the third quarter. You got teams struggling to put up 50 and a half. They put up 50 points in the third quarter. 3-pointer after 3-pointer after 3-pointer after 3-pointer. It was testy. It was a couple of techs out there. I mean, just how do you defend that? That's what I want to know. How do you defend that? Curry had 17 of his 35 points right there in the third quarter. Durant was huge in the third quarter. I mean, what do you do? What do you do? And then they have an opportunity to re-sign Bogut once he's released from Philadelphia. What do you do with this team? Suppose they make a run at Darren Williams. I think they should go after Matt Barnes, actually, myself. I think Matt Barnes would be an excellent fit. Of course, Bogut would be an excellent fit as well. But what do you do against a team that puts up 50 points in the third quarter? It's not much you can do. It's not much you can do. So it should be an interesting 6 weeks left to the season. I think there's about 25 games left for everybody. So we're going to see. It looks like it's going to be the usual suspects going into the playoffs. Unfortunately, it looks like my New York Knickerbockers is going to miss the playoffs for another year. They're going to have an interesting offseason. I really think that this might be the offseason, the summer that we see Carmelo get traded. I think this is the offseason that he get traded. I think he gives them a few hours to try to upgrade the point guard position by bringing in his buddy Chris Paul. But outside of that, I think if that doesn't happen, you can look for a possible trade for him, possibly going to the Clippers. And I think that's what's going to happen. Maybe Blake Griffin moves on. He goes out there and the Knicks get some kind of assets in return or whatever the case is. But, yeah, that's what I see. Outside of that, I mean, unless Chris Paul comes to New York, I don't see Melo staying. I don't see the Knicks making the playoff. Be interesting who they draft. I tell you, I don't think they'll be in the top 5, but I do think they'll be somewhere between 5 through 10. And I like this young kid out of Florida State, Dwayne Bacon. 6'7", 220, 25 pounds, already NBA ready, sophomore, very athletic, very explosive. I think he's a kind of guy that is marketable. And I think that he's going to be a star in this league. And it's somebody the Knicks need. They haven't had that athletic guy. Or listen, they haven't had a first-round pick that they re-signed since Charlie Ward. So they need this guy. I mean, Porzingis is probably going to be re-signed after his rookie contract, but they need someone else to go along with Porzingis because, again, Porzingis is not the answer. He's not. He hasn't shown me that he can stay on the court consistently enough, and he hasn't shown me that he can stay injured-free. He hasn't improved his defense. And I think he relies on the fact that he does have Melo as a cushion that takes a lot of load off him. But you know what? He's got to go after it, though. He really does. He has to go after it. He has to show to the fans and to the brass, the Knick brass that is, that you can build around me. Right now, he hasn't shown that. And I haven't been impressed. No, I have not been impressed. I'll be back Sunday. I won't be able to do a show tomorrow, but I'll be back Sunday. And when I come back on Sunday, we're going to start looking into the college basketball. You got the conference tournaments about to begin. We're going to talk about that. I believe today is the first day of some preseason baseball games, exhibition baseball games. So we might get a look at that on Sunday morning. So a couple of things we'll look forward to until Sunday. But in the meantime, you guys have a great start to your weekend. Yeah, be blessed, be safe, and I appreciate you all tuning in. And I'll get back at you on Sunday. Have a blessed weekend. Peace and blessings. This is Ramel.